and welcome to Toyfarerapy. I am Dr. Modern Toyfarer, and I am here with my YouTube wife, Mrs. Dr. Modern Toyfarer, our brand new receptionist, Corey, and good old nurse Nate. And today we are joined by the man who runs the new, was it the New World Order? No, because you do it differently than just, Nerd World Order. That's right. Sorry, it's been a while.
Nerd World Order.
The Nerd World Order. He is the man who runs, at this point, I'd say, the number 3 toy store, maybe even number 2, because I'm a big fan of Entertainment Earth, on the internet. Nerdzoic, big nerdy himself, Matt. How are you, man?
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Pretty good.
Not much. I think number 3 is fair. Entertainment Earth has no one wants to buy their stuff because they suck, but they are number 1, believe it or not.
I think that's mostly because
they are actually number 1.
Yeah, they control. They do a little bit of shady stuff with that distribution. Like, oh look, you only got stuff for the retail side this time. Mm-hmm. What do you know?
Yeah,
that's upsetting to know that they're number 1. That's upsetting.
Yeah, you'd like to think that it's big bad, but
yeah. But they also put like their affiliate program is like pretty ridiculous. So all the influencers use their links. Mm-hmm. If you're not doing it, you're probably losing money.
We used to.
That makes sense.
And it didn't really do much for us, so I stopped bothering with it. But then again, we did it a while ago. We did it like back, year 2 of this, so 3 years ago. And it didn't really do much for us, so I was like, yeah, it's not worth going through the effort of getting these links set up and putting them in each video description. So, but who knows? It probably has changed by now.
Yeah, it can definitely be a thing. Like, you have to really be dedicated to it, but it's just like a pain in the butt. But there's whole channels that are not like YouTube, but like Instagram and Twitter that are just dedicated to spamming out the links to whoever pays them.
Mm-hmm.
My backlinks kind of stink because of that, because I haven't set anything up, because I've been anticipating a Great Depression for like 3 years because I watched the movie Cinderella Man too many times, and I'm just like, gotta keep the costs down.
I mean, at least now you're gonna be prepared for when it happens here very soon.
Apparently not, because I never ended up renting a warehouse. I looked at one and almost bought one, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. It needs too much work. I'm too fat to do the work right now. So I instead hired a full-time employee. And let's hope he's not watching us. I don't know how, because if stuff goes bad, that's the first cut. Because it's either I go back and work in a restaurant, or I have to lean up the labor cost.
Oh, man.
Is that an exclusive?
No. Exclusive. Big Nerdy announces who to lay off first.
Yeah, well, there's only one full-time employee. Well, there's 2, and I don't think I'm going to lay my wife off. So,
wait, what about your YouTube guy? You have your YouTube producer guy.
Yeah, they're independent consultants.
Oh, okay.
They're contractors, whereas this guy's like a full-on employee, so you got to pay all the taxes and stuff that go with it.
Yeah.
Benefits, all of that. So it's just like, seriously, really didn't want to have to deal with this, because the whole point of hiring him was to free me up to do more things. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, we're going to wait and see what happens, and it just keeps getting worse every day. Yeah. Like, sales are fine right now. Sales are actually better than ever. But I'm just waiting for that other shoe to fall.
It's crazy, because the place I work at, the past few weekends have been insane, and like, it's not like we do anything special. So I'm just like,
it's just because the weather's breaking. That helps. People are coming out.
Busy and sales, sales are borderline like Christmas levels right now for us, and I'm just like very confused. I'm like,
that's actually a really good sign, because like anybody who's paying attention, you would think that consumer confidence is at an all-time low, but apparently it's not.
I wonder if people are just trying to prepare for the end. They're like, let me go and get all the things I want now before everything gets jacked up in price.
Or just that sweet dopamine.
looking at you guys. I don't know if any of you were adults through the last recession. To remember how fun that was. Okay, one of you. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm
very
old
much
enough.
remember. Yeah,
I was
I
almost
remember
an adult.
scraping the quarters. Were you scraping quarters to go get the $1 cheeseburger so you could eat for a day? Because I remember that really well. It's like, oh, make the student loan payment or do that. And my toy hunting consisted of going to Toys R Us and being like, tag, I saw it. Can't afford to buy it, but I saw it.
That's why I missed out on all this really cool NECA stuff from that era, because I couldn't afford any of it. It just
But did you
like
tag
all the
it? It counts.
yes.
I don't know. I'm prepared for the worst, and we'll see. I'm hoping that I'm completely wrong. But this whole China thing, like I just started importing stuff from China directly last year. Now I'm just like, hey guys, hold off on that. Except for the Joy Toy Turtle, I'm not getting anything out of China. Because I mean, a lot of companies, the truth is always somewhere in the middle. So everyone's like, no, the consumer pays for it. No, the company pays for it. No, China pays for it. It's in the middle somewhere. China does because they need to remain competitive. They'll reduce manufacturing costs very, very, very slightly. But then the companies, everybody basically takes a hit. So I'll use NECA as an example. They're charging wholesale a 4% tariff, as long as the tariff lasts, starting April 2nd. So 4%, not even though it's a 20% tariff. Now, they announced this when it was 10%, so maybe that doubles, who knows.
Yeah.
But they're eating part of it. I'm eating part of it. The whole goal for all of us is to not pass it on to the end consumer, because that just lowers sales. Like that's like the worst case scenario, unless you're Hasbro. They're just like,
It's like, fuck y'all.
go.
Yeah.
They're just like, all right, we got an excuse, everybody. Marvel Legends are $40 now.
Yeah.
With no Build-A-Figure piece.
I mean,
Yeah,
or
we
any
is
actually
supplement.
hand
NECA really
out.
out of the woods on this one though? When they show off the a turtle after New York Toy Fair and put it for pre-order, and it's $52 because it comes with 2 little chodes that you can play with.
I'm curious to see the size of it, because like
Oats?
there was that
Whoa!
Yeah.
Chode
We
is
can't
probably
talk
the
about
wrong
playing
word.
with our Chode. This is it's a family
Well,
show.
No, it's
I'll
not.
say this: like we all
No,
said
it's
that after the Krampus came out too. Everyone was like, "Krampus is way too much. He's a big boy. He's beefy."
I mean, this is gonna be the size of a
Yeah.
normal turtle with a cape, though.
I don't
You
know that
think?
it is. Have we? Because I
We've
was
seen
he
it.
at
We've
Toy
seen.
Fair?
Yeah,
'Cause I don't
the
remember
prototype was
seeing it.
out.
Oh, well, I didn't pay attention.
I mean,
Apparently.
it does look like the same body as
Yeah,
the
it's
other
it's,
one,
it's,
so-
it's basically just added sculpt to have the gloves and all the doodads, but he has a cape. But
Well, you know, soft goods adds at least $30.
Yeah. And that's your dream.
Yeah,
You
right?
asked for this.
Yeah, no, they're charging us more because we get those 2 little dudes who I don't even remember. That Trevor was like, "Oh, we
It
were
seems
so
like-
excited to add them," and I'm like, "I don't know who those are."
You actually remember him? I don't remember a super turtle.
I mean, I remember that more than I remember the 2 little dudes.
Listen,
I
we're
got
scraping the bottom barrel with that license, okay? Like we got like concept Bebop and Rocksteady from the first Turtles movie coming.
Yeah,
You know we're at the end.
Yeah. Hey, at least they've
Yeah.
got the
They're
2012 series
taking it
to
up.
like start fresh.
That is true.
Well, they got
Start
the
over.
2012. Have they done 2003?
No,
They
I don't know if
haven't.
they
No,
will
Super 7.
until Super 7 gives up on it.
Oh, that won't take long. Super 7 will go
Yeah.
on the. I mean, I'm
Probably
trying.
already gave up.
I'm trying to like Super 7. I'm gonna buy those turtles. I'll put them in the store. I met with them when I was at Toy Fair. I'm like, all right, I'll sell your stuff. We'll see what happens. You can see how enthusiastic I am. We'll see.
Listen, we make fun of
Mostly
them a
just
lot, but Brian is a really nice guy. We met him at PowerCon.
Yeah.
He just
I
makes some
actually never
interesting
met
choices.
Yeah.
Also, the choices I actually talked to them about. I'm like, listen, I'll be honest with you guys. I feel like your price range, this is the business me talking, not the collector me. The collector me says $55, that's ridiculous. But the business me says, if you're going to charge that much, you can't produce so damn many that people are just like, oh, that's awesome. Can't wait for it to go on clearance because I know I'll only pay $20.
Especially when they're
Like,
showing up at
nobody
Ross.
pays full price. Yeah, nobody pays full price for Super 7. And that's why I don't really buy the
Well.
Ultimates. People pay full
That's
price
good.
for a reaction, believe it or not, not ultimates. Which is ironic because, like, the reaction figures, back in the day, it was like, oh, you want a vintage collection? That's $8. Reaction's 18. Now there's only like a $3 price difference between the two.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
And they
unfortunate.
added knees. Their reaction plus.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought the plus was just more dollar signs. Uh,
Same
All right.
price. Joke's on you.
all right, so let's get into some questions here. let's move away from the sadness of current day and let's go into yesteryear, and let's test the memory of Big Nerdy and see what was your first memory of like a toy or action figure growing up.
Oh, I thought you wanted, like, in general. I was going to say that
General.
could be.
Yes, what was your
You
first
can do
memory?
both.
Do you remember the big
Was your
bright
first
light as
memory-
you came out and the weird man in the mask who smacked you?
So, my first memory of action figures was probably and I've talked about this a lot, so it's not a surprise, Cops and Crooks.
No.
Nice.
That was my line. Like, that was before Turtles. I was absolutely obsessed with it. My fun little story with it, and this is kind of something that kind of led me to toy hunting in general as a teenager. My mom, there was like a big gap between me and my next brother. So I'm born in 83. My siblings were born in 89, 91, and 93. And everyone's like, oh, did your mom remarry? No. They just, I guess, were busy or something. Don't know what happened there.
Or not busy.
Or not busy, apparently. My dad worked a lot. Who knows? But before she went into the hospital to go into labor and do all that crap, she's like, all right, I want to do something special for my special boy. So she went on a hunt for Bulletproof, which was the figure nobody could find. And she ended up hitting with my dad like 10 different stores. It was between KB, Toys R Us, and Kitty City, which was the Lionel toy store in the Northeast, until they found it. So that's my first memory, is playing with those and getting that when nobody else had it.
I just can't get over that. Like, your mom, because you said it was like before she went to the hospital, so I have to assume she's like 8-9 months pregnant, and she's out there toy hunting for you as a kid. Like, that's dedication.
Well, I mean, in fairness to her, it was a planned cesarean surgery. So she's like, all right, I got till Tuesday. We're going to give this kid up. So it's a Friday night toy hunt. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Little did she know what monster she created.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
This.
Because I've talked about it myself. Like, my mom used to carry the G.I. Joe card backs in her purse with X's through the ones I had. And she knew which ones I really, really wanted. I mean, that's the same thing kind of guided me to what I became as well.
It's like that episode of Obi-Wan where Vader's like, I am created me, or something like that. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I created me. It's bad.
I don't think any of our parents want to admit how much they liked to just toy hunt. Because they did. My dad loved to toy hunt.
My dad did too.
He would never say it, but he went to drove all the way to West Virginia from Ohio to find a Dino Rider. So the Dino Knight.
Jesus.
Yeah.
See, that age,
We grew
my
up in the
dad
wrong
was-
era, Michael.
Yeah, right. My dad was not home. So my dad worked from 80, I'd say 90 to 95. He worked, and this is not a joke, he clocked triple digits on hours a week every week for about 5 straight years. So 100 to 110 hours a week, one full-time job, one full-time plus job. So I didn't really see him for quite a while. So my mom...
And yet, you had 3 siblings during that time?
Yeah, apparently he only came home for that.
Or did you have a milkman or a postman?
Yeah.
They
Do
all
you
look
look like your
I would
siblings?
have said that. I would have said
Okay.
that, but they all look just like me. So
All
sucks
right.
for them.
Did you have the same postman and milkman before you were born?
It was the same guy. We all look. We like, as my wife says, all of you have no ass. Like, it's all just like it goes back to thighs. What the hell? Okay, why are you looking at all?
I'm part of the no ass club.
Yeah.
At least you'd be like, hey,
Speaking of the no ass club tonight, I'm standing next to my daughter. And my wife and son are behind us laughing because she said, "Oh, you're both just standing there with the top of the crack hanging out. Don't have a clue what's going on." I'm like, "Yep, welcome to the club. Sorry, we're not like you."
oh man. So Then what kind of, like you mentioned, like your first memory, what kind of stuff did you collect then going forward for your childhood? Like what kind of things were you
It wasn't
into?
really collect. Yeah, it was. I never thought of it like that. It was just playing.
Yeah.
So we went from cops to Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles ended up probably being the biggest thing, and I followed that through probably till the end. And then from there, it never quite clicked again for a while. Like I got into the Kenner Batman stuff for a little bit. I got into, of all things, the Hook movie had a toy line.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah,
forgot
I had
about
some.
that.
Tiny Rufio.
so good.
And I'm trying to think if there was anything. Oh, the big one was Hasbro WWF at the time. Was huge into that, and like, that's where I got into my like business phase because I'm like 8 years old at KB Toys, and I'm like, how about I give you throw the 2 in, and we'll only charge $10, and they're just looking at me. I'm like, okay, that's not going to work, is it? I will get it.
They're like, sir, I make minimum wage.
I'm just like, but it's Mr. Perfect. I have to have him to go with my Andre the Giant. They had enough.
Can't split the pair.
No. You have to have 2 wrestlers. You can't just buy one. Otherwise, it's just a dude in tights standing in a ring lonely and sad.
In fairness, there was probably 30 others. I like to put them in the Hasbro ring and then take my arm and just go like this and see who the Royal Rumble winner was.
Nice.
Somehow it was
fantastic.
always Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Well then. That's
Would have guessed it. But yeah, that was that, and then I went on my like, I am too cool for toys hiatus and moved into baseball cards. And
Yep.
toys disappeared. My brothers, I was a little bit too old. I was 10 when Power Rangers came out. But I did this like low-key toy hunting for the Power Rangers for them. Because in 93 or 94, when the Power Rangers toys came out, they were revolutionary because you could flip the head and have a mask or no mask. It was like, wow, this technology is insane. But they were impossible to find. I ended up finding some at, my mom found some at the flea market, and I'm like, yeah, let's buy them. They were like Chinese knockoffs. They were like the Power Pagers or something.
the Power Pagers.
Yeah, we didn't pay as much though. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Good
it was
news.
halfway
You
worth
could-
it. But I was like kind of toy hunting, but not for me. So it was a weird situation.
the good news is you can go and get those figures next year. with Playmates.
Again?
Yeah.
Was it next year?
I thought that was next
Yeah.
Let
year.
me just say,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Playmates,
It
this
might be
message
this
goes
year.
out to you. This is a Friends reference.
That's fair. That's
I'm
fair.
back Monday for my Toy Fair review video for my Playmates rant.
Ooh. I'm
Nice.
excited for
With,
that.
Looking forward to
with
that.
our secretary, the Dragon Lady.
The Dragon Lady?
That's what I call the lady who works the front desk of the Playmates booth at Toy Fair every single freaking year, or at least the 2 years I've been there. Can't get past her. I got past last year by pulling this whole. First, I was like, "Excuse me, I own a toy store," and they blew me off. So I was like, "Excuse me, I have a YouTube channel." That's how I got in that time. Didn't work this time. Didn't
Okay.
work.
Hey, at least, you know what? At least you could use that. When I went to apply for badges for us for this year, it was like, oh, honey, you have to have 25,000 subscribers. And it's like, go fuck yourself.
What you should have said is, first of all, you should have literally called me, and I would have got some of you in under the Nerdzoic name because I can have 4 employees.
Shit.
Secondly, my one buddy, he is a, what the hell is he? He is a department manager for Target, and they just let him in. He literally is like a department manager at his local Target,
Nice.
and they let him in. And then I'm like, dude, everybody's flocking to him, so they see the Target on the name badge
Because
and
they think he's like a
buyer.
rep.
Yeah, so
Or a
they're all
buyer,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, you're from Target." And I'm like, no, just don't pay attention to him, okay? He's not important.
I do work in distribution, so
I mean, I run a media
Well,
maybe.
department
name
for
the
a store.
distributor that
so-
you're in. They sell toys, and you're in.
Well, in my defense, my boss went to Toy Fair and didn't take me either. So
Hmm.
What the hell's up with that?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, trust me, I've been asking the same thing.
You guys would have to travel together, maybe with something personal.
I don't get me wrong. I don't know if I would want to do that. So maybe
Yeah,
it's
I
for the
know
best.
other bosses you've had didn't like you.
Yeah, that's
No,
fair. It's a
he
pretty common. It's a
didn't
pretty
want to.
common thing.
Yeah.
But why don't they like you? Let's do
To
some.
be
Usually, it's
some
because they
facial
are just wrong.
to be clear,
Oh.
Matt, I am the person that I was talking about because I was his boss at one time, and I didn't care for him
He
much.
hated me so much that he was like gonna try to like get rid of me, and our other buddy Wes went through and was like, "Oh, we'll just send him over to me in MP3s," and
Yeah.
and
And he
I'll take
hated
it.
you.
But now that he doesn't
still
work,
does hate me.
I think he's great. I think he's great now.
yeah, it's
I
ironic
once
that
traded I once traded a manager for I'm not a joke for a ham sandwich. I was just like, we can't get rid of this guy. He's terrible. So I went to the guy in the York store. I'm like, bro, not joking. Ham and Swiss on rye. You can have Joe. And me and Joe are friends to this day. It's the funniest thing. It was probably a big mistake on my end. I was new to management and didn't really know how to deal with a personality that was big. So I was just like, gotta go. I was 25, but I literally traded him for a ham sandwich. And to this day, we joke about it. And now he grew his hair out, so he looks like John Wick. So he wins in the end.
I mean,
Nice.
at least you got
Okay.
something. Nate can get anything out of that.
I got to come onto this podcast, so
Yeah,
You didn't get hair,
he
but
got
you
stuck with me in outside of work instead.
yeah.
He said
Now
he
he
didn't
bosses
get the
me
hair.
around.
I was gonna say now he's kind of the boss, huh?
And
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
drives me crazy, so it's fair.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about karma.
Yeah, I drove him crazy for like 4 weeks. He's driven me crazy for 3 years. So
Oh no, it was like a year.
it was not a year.
Nate-
I only worked
It
there.
wasn't.
I only
Felt
worked
like
there
it.
for a year and a half.
Certainly
So as
felt
a
like it.
boss, what were your pet peeves with him? Now I gotta know.
Oh, because he just didn't. Well, first of all, he didn't give a shit, which I get, but you know, as a supervisor at the time, it was frustrating, and he was just kind of a dick.
So let me actually tell you how this went down.
Has that changed?
So yeah, that hasn't changed.
That part hasn't changed.
So what happened is I went and I had worked at GameStop, and at that point, Best Buy was poaching GameStop employees because they thought they were going to get big in the gaming thing. So the general manager of the store offered me a position. It was going to be strictly gaming, nothing else. And I was like, great, cool, I'm here for it. Then, literally the day before I started, they did a big reorg and they combined gaming, digital cameras, and appliances. And so I start,
Here they go
and they
together.
hand me to Nate, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have you trading cameras." I'm like, "The fuck you are." I'm like, man at the top told me I was in gaming and nothing else.
I was gonna
Did
say
Nate
it's
give
not
you
my
the
job.
listen, bro? Welcome to corporate life. Everything
Pretty
changes every day.
I was probably 19 at that point, so I didn't give a shit.
The only thing that doesn't change is the fact that you go home and drink every night. That's it. Everything else is the same.
Yep.
I like to think of myself when I was in the corporate world. Towards the end, I was like Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street. I was just like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care, man. Like, do what you want. How many times do you do this a day? Okay, got up your pace. Like, I was just didn't give a shit at that point, which is
Get those
probably
numbers
why I
up.
was like, oh man, I should probably not work for corporate anymore. This doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you know what my biggest pet peeve is? When people are like, I had to tell my employee this the other day, and finally he gets it. I'm just like, stop being so damn professional. Like, if you're mad about something, if you're annoyed about something, stop just being mopey about it. Just fucking tell me. Like, come on. I don't care if you hate me. Tell me you hate me so I can change.
Oh man. See, that's
should
what you need to do.
implement that here.
Is you need to be more like
Yeah,
Dick Nerdy.
well, now I don't care. I basically work by myself all the time. I don't have to deal with associates. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I had no problem with telling managers how I felt.
You'd be surprised how much of a problem that is, because I'm the type who would you can't fix something if you don't know what the problem is, right? Like, you can't.
Yeah.
Healthy conflict is a thing.
hmm
We're turning into a management podcast, guys. This is,
I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
mine was
Crazy.
healthy conflict, but it was conflict.
Yeah. I don't know that it was healthy.
I mean, it was therapeutic for me.
It was just constant conflict.
As the
You did.
king of HR complaints, I think that I would have dealt with it just fine.
Nate didn't even see the worst of it. Like, because at one point I moved.
No.
I moved 3 departments in that store. Because I went from gaming to MP3
Nobody liked you.
to then I was like a glorified secretary for Geek Squad. And by the time I got to Geek
Yeah.
Squad, I was so over that job, and I was already looking for a new job, and they were trying to make me also go and be a consultant and like try to sell people Geek Squad insurance. And one day I just told him where he could shove his Geek Squad insurance and just went off on him. And he's like, "Do you feel better?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay." And he walked away, and I went back to work.
How old were you at this point?
At that point, oh god, that was 2014. So shit. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Carry the one.
I would have been 20.
Don't forget about the integer.
I would have
I'm
been
just
like 20
remembering 19-year-old me. I was a waiter at Friendly's, and like the other employees would make fun of me. They called me wannabe manager because I'd be like, actually, you're supposed to butter the bread before it goes on the grill. So, listen, I never got invited to any of the parties. I was just there to cover their shifts, so I know how it is.
That's fantastic.
You would have been the cool kid there, Mr. Modern Toy Fair. I would have been covering your shift on Friday night so you could go party.
That's very cute that you think I went and partied.
If it
As
makes you
Nate has
feel
proven,
better, I
nobody
took all
liked
the
me.
money that I
So
made for your shift and bought toys with it.
The reversal of the couch today. It
I
turns
do
out
feel like this
Michael's
is like
on
a
the
real
couch.
therapy session because like,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be asking him questions and he keeps diverting us into these other conversations. It's very
Like an intervention.
Yeah.
101.
It's like when you're really with your therapist, they're like, "So tell me how that made you feel." Well, actually, you have to butter the bread and then put it on the grill.
Don't get me on the therapist.
All right, so you left collecting, went into sports cards. When you came back to collecting, and even into now, how much did those childhood like figures influence what you're into?
0.
Really?
How crazy. So here's what happened. I was a nerd, but I was like a wrestling nerd. So middle school, I was like the complete loner, had no hobbies, had no interests, just kind of hung out in my room. And then like this is the 90s, so we either did backyard wrestling, which I did that, thumbtacks hurt, or we turned on channel 99, which was the pay-per-view channel, and listened to the scrambled wrestling feed. And we'd occasionally catch a picture of somebody. So like that was my life. I would listen to the scrambled feed Monday and Thursday nights for wrestling. There was nobody else that was insane like me in junior high because there was only about 400 kids in the class. At the high school, we had 1,200 kids. Math works out, so there was like 3 or 4 other crazy people like me. So the one crazy person went to his house, and we went down in his basement, and that's just a weird start to anything. But he had all over his basement, not anything weird-ish, he had on-card Power of the Force Star Wars toys. And I was just like, wow, this is such a cool idea. You just like made a toy store almost in your basement. And I was like, this is great. So I went home and I was like, that was really cool. But I don't have any pegboard. So I went to Home Depot, bought some 4-foot by 8-foot pegboard. I tied it to the top of my 1987 Mercury Cougar and drove down the boulevard with my hand on top of the car holding the pegboard in. You've been there. Okay. Got home, my mom
What color was yours?
my mom thought I was having a nervous breakdown. She's like, "Oh, honey, you'll have friends someday." I'm like, "No, I have friends now. We collect toys," and it was all downhill from there. Power of the Force 2 was so overproduced that I'm hitting Toys R Us's and getting 20 figures for $30. About this time, I got into restaurants. I was doing the diners. I was doing some serving at Friendly's. And I had serious teenager cash and no friends. So it's like, okay, if I had friends, they were nerd friends. So really, all I had to do was go out and see a movie once a week and pay for the fast food. So I spent the rest of the money on toys. I had other entrepreneurial pursuits, not all of them were particularly, I don't know what the word is. Let's just say that's back in the 90s, the internet wasn't a thing. So people would be like, hey, if I give you $30, can you go buy me a certain magazine? I was all about it. All about it. Because I've looked like I was 40 since I was 15 years old. So nobody carded me for anything. And great. In fact, like the school police officer from 10th grade on, like the first year, she kept pulling me aside and being like, why are you here? I'm like, I'm a student. We've gone over this. Okay. I'm sorry I have a receding hairline.
She's
You're
like,
my
Grandpa, I
lunchbox."
need to take you back to the home.
No, it was more like, sir, are you going to kill people? Because 98 Columbine, unfortunately for me, I was really big into the leather trench coat thing before Columbine. Okay? Listen, ECW, Paul Heyman, 1994, he comes out in the leather trench coat, and I'm like, holy crap, leather trench coats are awesome. So, like, 95 to 98, I'm all over the leather trench coat. And then Columbine happens, I'm like, bro, we got to get a new style. This ain't working.
Did you call up Paulie and let him know?
I did not call him, but I switched to just a mid-length leather jacket instead. But to make me feel better about it, I added a fedora. So it was a leather fedora. So I felt pretty cool.
I'm sure that helped out with the friends and everything. So
Well, listen, I had the 4 toy friends /
that's all you
wrestling,
need.
and we're still best friends to this day. So that's all you need.
That's it.
None of us
Quick
do
follow-up.
the winning, but
Quick follow-up question. What color was your 1987 Mercury Cougar?
black.
Mine too? Nice.
I have a
Did
follow-up
you
question.
notice the fact that that thing flew? Like, that had a V8 engine in it.
Yep.
Probably should not have.
Right.
We had this Route 213 in Philly. There was a spot where there was no spot for cops. So we call it like Smuggler's Run because I get hit like 110 on it really easily. It was great.
Yep.
We did the whole punch it, Chewy, and then I'd pull like the equalizer on the radio down.
So I have a follow-up question for the backyard wrestling. So you said that you did this. Did you have a full like gimmick?
Yeah, I was basically Mick Foley. That was my gimmick. I stole it.
No. Oh no.
Yes, my gimmick was I can take a whole crap load of pain but have 0 athletic ability. I'm feeling that to this day.
Oh, that's rough.
10th grade, we had to do a project on what our dream profession was. So I chose wrestler, and as my like homework, I made a wrestling video. To this day, my ankle's not the same because the spot didn't go as planned. I was supposed to take 2 chair shots before falling off the roof, but the guy knocked me so silly with that first chair shot that I went flying, and I landed like straight on my ankle. And it was very difficult to finish the match, but I finished.
Just like Mick Foley.
I'm proud of it.
That's
Just
true.
like Mick Foley.
Yeah.
No tooth through my nose,
That's
but I was
probably a
very
plus.
proud of that. Now, I feel it to this day. Bad decisions. Don't want to do that.
Well, you need to do some DDP yoga. That'll help.
Listen, I have tried the DDP yoga. I don't know if you have.
Mm-mm. I have a buddy who did.
There
though.
is some mental gymnastics in there that the pragmatist in me cannot get through, okay? You have to be able to do dynamic resistance. So basically, DDP is like, all right, bro, now just feel the air. And it's like pumping iron. So you got to press backwards as you do your curl. And I'm just like, but there's nothing in my hand. And it doesn't make any sense to me. And every time I've tried DDP yoga, it ends with me saying, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, you're a
only
wrestling fan.
completed
It's all
one
pretend anyway, so.
It is.
Good point.
I've completed 1 session in 7 years, okay? Went to the chiropractor right after, and he, like, cracked my back a million times. He's like, what the hell did you do? You're loose. Like, oh, DDP yoga. Then I never did it again after that.
Feeling the wind.
Feeling the wind, guys. Feeling the wind. See,
Like,
if
did it
DDP
one-
told me to do that, I'd assume he meant just like, fart.
Wait, what?
If DDP told me to feel the wind, I'd assume he meant like fart or something.
DDP is very literal, okay? He's a very literal guy. I will just point out, he made Jake the Snake sober for like 6 months. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus could only do it for 4. He saved Scott Hall's life for a while. He's
Mhm.
dead now, but he did for a while. DDP is pretty awesome, except for the yoga.
I mean, he's got a pretty okay track record that just doesn't last very long, is what you're telling me.
That's pretty much how it goes. Like, I got a couple customers who've reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we're DDP yoga instructors. We could totally help you lose that weight." And I'm like, "Listen, definitely don't want to be a fat ass, but I'm just not getting this DDP yoga thing. It just doesn't make sense to me."
You feel the air too much, and then suddenly you either go back to drugs or die.
No sense. Makes no
Oh
sense.
my god.
Like, no sense. No sense. I'll probably try it again. I have one of the other reasons I haven't really made any videos. I have a surgery scheduled for, oh Christ, 10 days from now, and I'm waiting to get through that. After that, maybe I'll try. We'll see.
All right.
I got a big old. I have a. I'm just telling people that I'm getting a nose job. Sadly, it's kind of the truth. I can't breathe through my nose, so they're like going in to move cartilage from my ear to my nose so I can breathe again. It's weird stuff. I don't know. I don't want to do
the opposite. I figured
this
that you were moving it.
Yeah.
No. So like, watch. Hold on. This is great live video. It collapses. Collapses completely. Can't do anything about it. Makes me snore. My wife keeps trying to kick me out of the bed, so she's making me do this. So hopefully my nose looks amazing when I'm done. I'll look like Brad Pitt. All 10 breaks of the nose will be fixed. They're like, "Hey, what did you do to your nose? It looks like it's been broken a lot." I was just like, I grew up in the 90s, man. It was a different time. We did backyard wrestling. There was lots of fighting going on, okay?
Oh man. Well, hopefully it goes okay, and it solves your not being able to breathe through your nose and keeping your wife up at night.
Yeah. Well, the only good part that came out of this is I'm not able to sleep laying down for like a month. But she finally let my cheap ass buy a recliner for myself. So a recliner for someone the size of me is at least $1,200. So I'm like, yeah, got something out of this. But that's it. That is it.
Win's a win. So we've gotten through your trench coat era. So what kind of stuff are you collecting nowadays?
So this is an exclusive for you guys. I have had an epiphany as of late. I basically stopped traditional collecting. And I think this happens to a lot of YouTubers. They just don't admit it. Now, to me, it happened as a toy store owner. Basically, I don't need to have everything forever. I just need to play with it for a little bit, and then I'm good getting rid of it. So I have found that I am really good just owning a toy store and not buying stuff. So occasionally, I'll get myself stuff. Like every HasLab, gotta have it. Wrestling, gotta have it. Like, I don't even know where this came from, but I got a random Dusty Rhodes here in a plastic bag. It'll probably stay. But for the most part, I don't need to keep anything long term. So what I tend to do, I get it, I play with it on my desk for a little bit, and then I put it back in the box and sell it as opened. That's it. It's my collecting deal. In fact, one of my to-do list items is to take all the stuff behind me and put it in the storage. Anything that's going to stay long term goes in the storage, or whenever I have like a warehouse, or I can like actually put stuff out and make dioramas and stuff, versus what I have now, which is a warehouse that's very tiny. It's going to go in the storage so that I can have more room for video equipment. I got a 3D printer sitting over here that I can't really fit anywhere. It's on a cart in the middle of the room. So yeah, my collecting has changed greatly in the sense that nothing is forever. And I probably should have known this because I got into collecting until 2018 as a mint and box collector. There was something about the look of a toy store that just hit the itch for me. So being able to walk into our warehouse and see literally everything really hits my itch. Opening, I don't know, a quarter of it, it's the rest of the itch. It ends up saving me a lot of money because now my expensive hobby is completely tax deductible.
That's the smart part.
I'm sorry, I'm having a like existential crisis right now because like, is that what all of my whole situation is? Is I just sell shit because I like play with it and get bored and move on?
Yeah. Yes, that is it.
You need to open a toy store, is what he's saying.
I
tried that once. I'm not trying that again.
What you need to do is, like, if you're going to do the toy YouTube thing, and I think like a lot of toy YouTubers, they look at people's collections and they're just like, wow, you buy everything. How do you afford it? If you go back to the beginning of my YouTube channel long before the store, there's a reason I only used Hasbro's pictures, because I didn't have half the crap. Like, I can't afford to be a toy YouTuber. That takes a lot of money. So I started off just using the manufacturer images. Now, nowadays, it's completely different. I have a store. I just open stuff and do it. But yeah, as a toy YouTube guys, podcast guys, you got to get your enjoyment of it out of the way and get rid of it. Don't be a hoarder. That's it.
Big Nerdy's out here convincing people not to collect toys.
No,
we've got the exclusive. Big Nerdy kills the industry.
Toy YouTuber, and you're buying things to review, because if you're doing that, you're buying a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. Unless it's something that you can display and enjoy, then yeah, sell it to fund the next thing you're gonna buy, which works out for me if you buy it from me. So I'm cool with that.
This is just like, how much did Michael pay you to say this? It's like, I'm right.
I feel like this turned into more of a therapy session for me.
Well, listen, that's what you got to do. Like, if you go, I was thinking about it last year. I bought the Mezco Batman 89 off The Amazing. He literally had a station set up at PowerCon, and I'm just like, oh, so that's the trick. And that's what he did. He got it. He took his pictures. He enjoyed it for a while, and then it was gone. And I think that's the key. Like, you have to pick certain things to keep forever, and that's it. Now, ironically, I've gotten back into sports cards a lot, and it's the same deal. Like, I buy things to flip that I don't care about, and then anything that's Phillies or Eagles, I keep for myself. Everything else, I just buy it to flip it if I see it at a good price. That's it.
I feel like a lot of people have that same epiphany. I've had that recently with like comic books, because you get to a point where I'm buying these every month, and I've been buying them since I was like 12, and I'm like, holy shit, I don't know what to do with this now. Like, I gotta get rid of it.
It's a lot of space.
It's so much space.
I switched to all digital. When the flood happened and I lost anything that I was saving, I was like, well, this is my sign. We're switching to digital, because like, I read things once, maybe twice. If it's something that I love and I want to collect it, I put it in a nice case. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, do you really need to have Hawkeye #7? Why is it still like, if you're buying comics just for the story, why bother holding on to it? If you can pay $5 and then flip it for $3, now you only paid $2. You got your story. Problem solved.
I've been heavy into like the epic collections, because like there are certain stories that I like to read like over and over and over. And I noticed, I was like, man, I'm like going through my books, getting those ones out, unbagging them, reading them, putting them back in, and it's just so cumbersome. So way easier to have a better format than the monthly issues.
And if you're going to do that, like if you have story, like for me, Hush and The Long Halloween, like I love them. I could read them 1,000,000 times. So I bought the hardcovers. The oversized with the oversized art. I could not go back and read them in floppy. Same with Watchmen. I can't imagine reading that in a floppy comic book anymore. So I think that as a comic, I think comics are like a whole floppy era. I don't know how much time that has left. It's just not profitable. It just isn't.
No, I think it's got some rough roads ahead.
I think people aren't honest about it. Like, there's a lot of opinions on AI art. That's the only way comic books in the floppy form could survive. Because if you think about it, the top selling comic books sell 10,000 copies. It takes one artist 1 month to do a comic book. the economics just aren't there to pay everybody based on the amount that you're selling. If you look at manga, which everyone likes to say, well, manga's doing great, look at the art. It's like the same picture 17 times with different words. And then they change the mouth. So in one panel, it looks like this. And so really, they're just changing one thing. Like, they find ways to reuse the art, like Marvel reuses the freaking molds in Marvel Legends. And unfortunately, United States comic book artists haven't figured that out. So it's economically not going to work long term unless people are willing to pay stupid amounts for books.
That's why Jack Kirby was so successful, because he could draw the same stuff over and over and over.
It also didn't hurt that he sold 50 to 75,000 issues a month.
Oh,
Did
right.
not hurt.
Yeah.
Different
That's
time.
not going to come back. I don't think it's
No.
ever going to come back.
I think you
Especially with digital.
change his jawline of MJ, and that was Thor. With you changed her hair to blonde, and then you had Thor.
It's a scary thing.
That's terrifying. So this next question is a little, it could be a little difficult given the way that you collect now. But is there anything that like you wish was made or that like existed for your collection that's like missing? That one like figure or playset or vehicle?
Yeah, 1/12 scale Cops and Crooks. Where the hell is it?
I mean,
Okay.
there's a couple companies out there I could see doing something like that.
You could see it, but it hasn't happened. I
Well,
want to know where the hell it is.
I'm not saying that you need to reach out to a gentleman who makes the amazing Musk and Ramen Racer and other things. And
Can I share the screen of me and Ace from Toy Fair? Like, listen, me and Ace are buddies. I know what's going on there.
I'm just saying,
But it's
I feel
still-
like that's the guy. That's the tree you need to
I-
bark up.
Apparently, unfortunately, Ace is he is like a piece of iron. It's like, oh, what's that? Is that a cease and desist? Don't care. Don't care. Me, I'm just like, oh no, cease and desist. My life is over. Anxiety
God.
times 100. Like, listen, I would much rather remember a few years ago where the Pinkerton showed up at somebody's store.
Yeah, over the
I'd
magic
much rather-
cards.
Yeah, listen, come on, come to my door, please. But don't send the cease and desist letter. That's much more scary.
The lawyers not worried about the Pinkertons. I always been
Not
fully. I
worried
could take
about
them.
them at all.
Yeah.
I live in Pennsylvania. There's more guns on my street than people. So, and the fun part is I don't own one of them. Like, I just know, like, okay, when the apocalypse hits, the neighbor over
Like,
there
I'm
has
good.
at least 10,000 rounds of ammo. The neighbor next to me has 5,000. I'm good. All I got to do is show up and make people laugh, and I get free ammo. We're great.
There you go.
It's a very solid point.
Yeah, at least he's got a
The
plan.
plan. Like, I'm just going to be like, yo, you guys got to cook? I'll cook for you. All right, cool.
I know to butter it before I put it on.
Yeah, I was saying butter at first.
I can cook. I'm like, listen, you guys got cows? I'll butcher them. Not really sure how. All I know how to do is cook them, but how hard can it be?
Have the whole cow leg just on the grill.
Like, well, why is there still fur on it? Listen, I'm new. Okay,
Cow leg.
YouTube's gone. There's no YouTube videos that teach you how to get rid of the fur.
It's just very patchy where you tried to like shave it.
I used a buzzer, same as my head. Okay, it didn't work. It caught
Kept
me.
getting jammed.
All right. This is called pig bacon. I basically took the bacon from the pig and wrapped it around the leg of the cow. It's gourmet.
Ignore the texture.
Don't
Cow
worry about the
legs
hair.
sounds
If you get a
amazing.
hairball in your mouth, that's totally normal.
Yeah, it's supposed to be that way. You just don't remember because it's been so long since the apocalypse started. That's how we used to eat cats.
Yeah, you don't know. Because you haven't had your meds.
Yeah.
No more meds. After 30 days, 20% of the population dies. You ever think about that? It's scary stuff.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I try my
I read
best
a
not
book.
to.
Okay, let's go off on another tangent. I read a book about what would happen if, like, another country launched a full-on EMP attack against us and we lost all electricity. 20% of the population's dead within 30 days because they don't have their diabetic medicine.
That's a very good point.
I want to go out in that first wave. I don't want to stick around.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm
yeah,
not a survivor.
with you, yeah.
I've seen The Walking Dead. I've seen Mad Max. Like, I want
Fallout,
no part of that.
Yeah, all of it. I'm good.
If my family is alive, I'm still in. Actually, if my family's alive, I think I want to. I think it's like at that point, I don't want to see them die. So I'm like, oh, I gotta go. Okay, sorry. But if it's just me left, nah, screw it. I'm going full on like Liam Neeson in Taken with every person I see, except I don't have a particular set of skills. All I can do is sell toys. I'll be like, listen, I have a particular set of skills. Do you like plastic? What about plastic?
Brings back the big leather trench coat to open it to
Yeah,
have
the-
nothing but McFarlane
I
and
know
one
a
side
guy.
Marvel on the other.
You need vintage turtles? I'm your man.
And in the apocalypse, all turtles are vintage.
Like, but those are the 2012 series. Yes, they're from Super 7, but they're still rare.
They
They aren't being
haven't
made
released
anymore.
yet.
You can't order these
Still
on
haven't
Big
been-
Bad.
Big bad.
Oh, man,
God.
Super 7.
All right.
Give me those
So,
turtles.
of what you have in your collection that is like a permanent fixture, isn't part of the, rotating cast or the rolling door, what would you say is like the pinnacle of your collection? Like that one piece that you're like, this is it. This is the one thing that no matter what, it's always there. Like, house is on fire. You have to grab one thing. What is it?
It's my cartoon turtle stuff from the toys, at least. Like specifically, I would grab my turtle van and probably the 4 turtles, since they decided not to reprint them very often. Like I'm like, all right, Leo, get in. I'd probably leave Mikey behind. Nobody cares that much. You can get another one pretty cheap. Easy peasy. Seriously, like as somebody who has actual numbers to go by, nobody likes Michelangelo. He's a party dude, but nobody wants to buy him. Everybody else outsells him 2-1.
That's so sad.
I don't even want to ask what's the number one because I know
It's
it's
Leo.
probably Raph.
It's Leo.
It's Raph.
It is not Leo.
Really?
It's Raph.
Number 3, baby. Okay? I didn't expect it either. But consistently across every medium, movies, cartoons, comics, Leo's number 3, Mikey's number 4.
Okay, so now I
The
know
other
that
two are
too.
kind of interchangeable. Donnie's
Well, at least-
usually number 1.
As it should be.
Let's go.
Listen, I am cool but Brule, so I'm a Raph guy. Basically, you got a little bit of a problem with authority. You're a Raph guy.
I have a problem with authority, and I'm not a RAF guy. Ask Nate.
Well, as a
true.
Donatello guy, you did set up this live stream, so you get something.
Fair.
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
point. I can't wait
shit.
to clip this out. To those Leo fans.
Oh,
Can't fight numbers.
Leo's like the goody two shoes that nobody wants to deal with. Okay, the Leo fans out there, I guarantee you, they're straight A students. They probably get perfect evaluations at work, and they're just like, "Oh, Leo, he's so great. He's Splinter's favorite." I bet.
This is all checking out to the Leo fans I know. Like,
It's true, actually. It's
Yeah.
true.
no, this is
It's
all.
It's what it is.
It's very true. Yeah.
Raphael is number 1. That's how it should be. If you're a nerd, I guess Donatello could be number 1.
Of
But if you have a
course.
problem with authority and you're a nerd, Raphael's number 1.
I'm still
If you're a
trying to wrap
stoner,
my head
probably Mikey.
around Michael being a Raphael and loving Donatello. Like it's like the brother he never had. That's kind of crazy.
Imagine. That's why the last Ronin works. Nobody expected that to be the last one. Okay? Kevin Eastman just went in and said, "Oh yeah, you guys don't like Michelangelo? Watch this."
I
You
mean,
don't
let's
have
be
a
honest. He
choice.
did it because we all know that Raph is his favorite, so we just assumed it would be Raph that would survive. So he's like, "No, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it
Gotta throw you
Michelangelo, the most useless one of the 3. Isn't smart, doesn't have the fighting skills, but we're gonna have him be the one who survived out of all this."
He has
Actually
the
makes for a
coolest
great
weapons.
story.
That's what he has. The coolest weapons.
It's very
Fair.
true. Nunchucks are badass.
Which he barely uses in that entire series.
Well, yeah, now
Yeah.
he's grown up.
Are we going to get a
Really-
live action of that? How cool would it be to
I
get a
believe
live?
so. Are we not, or not
I'm
live
hearing
action,
I
but-
think it's a Netflix
I'm hearing
thing,
that it's-
isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard all the details, but they're working on it.
There's a game being worked on too.
Is
Did
there?
we
'Cause I heard
reanimate
that
Jim
may
Henson
be on the
or-
rocks or on the.
Yeah,
Alex.
every video game is. So we'll
I
see.
mean, Paramount needs money like really bad.
Well, listen, if it helps them, I watch Blue Bloods like every other night to help their streaming platform. So it's a perfect show in that it never ends on a cliffhanger, so I'm able to fall right to sleep afterwards.
Okay.
I love it.
See the show with a cliffhanger. We save the shows with a cliffhanger that are on like HBO. No, they got to be. They're weekend shows. Can't watch them on a weeknight.
It'll mess up your whole week.
Yeah.
So as of April 17th, 2024, Last Ronin will be the first TMNT movie with a rated R rating. It is.
I don't understand
unusual.
how they can just decide that already when they haven't even submitted it to the board. Like,
Because Michelangelo is going to say the F word more than twice. That's how
all
they.
right, that's,
And you're gonna see
yeah.
Granny April. You'll probably see her boobs or something.
It's Granny
Oh.
April, and they're going to look like pepperonis because of pizza synergy. It's how it's
Oh,
going to
makes
all work
sense.
together.
Oh no!
That's the only way that baby
They-
turtles find.
They need to bring back
like
Judith.
pepperoni.
They'll have like a really, really attractive Casey Marie. It's going to be like, if this was 10 years ago, it would be Aubrey Plaza. Now it's going to end up being like the girl from Wednesday, Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
I would say that or Zendaya would probably be the other one.
Not Zendaya.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Neither
Zendaya.
which strong enough.
Let's just go a different direction. If I'm casting, hey, Sydney Sweeney, listen, I know this role doesn't fit you, but I like you, so it's yours. You're Casey Marie. But I'm blonde. That's okay.
But yeah,
You're
keep
good.
in mind that was Screen Rant,
That's what
so
wigs are
like,
for.
we don't know like really what's going
Yeah,
on with
the
it. but,
official.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Michael
It's
Bay?
also a year ago.
I don't
It
think
is
that
not.
they didn't have anything information like that. They just said that it was gonna announce that it was gonna be the first rated R TMNT movie.
He's
What if
already
we get
done it
a
enough.
Quentin Tarantino TMNT?
Mikey
I'd
just
take
walks into the building with an LMG and just starts mowing people down. Take that,
movie
for
ends
Clan.
with- The movie ends with the last Ronin. Michael, he's holding Carrie's head. That's how the movie ends, and then it just all goes backwards. Samuel L. Jackson narrates the entire thing.
Oh my god, I
There's
love
a
that.
cameo. Who would Quentin be? Quentin would probably be like one of the baby turtles with Gammy. Like, and then you'd have to have like a random cameo from Winston the Wolf, like a random cameo
Yeah.
from him. Sam Jackson would probably narrate the entire thing.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, hire me for this. I'm going to help you with this. Quentin, let's do this. You and me, buddy. You and me.
Turtles.
That'd be quite the timeline we'd be in if Tarantino's last film was a Ninja Turtle
Turtle
movie.
movie. Well, it's like Jim Carrey's final film was supposed to be Sonic, so you know.
So the question is, who's Danny Trejo
Figured it
going to
out.
be in this movie?
Danny Trejo-
God.
The Rat
Every-
King.
Of course he's in it. Danny Trejo as Krang, okay? I can just see it right now. Look, what do you say?
Oh my god, can we
I
can we
think
get a
only
Krang
Rocket
with the handlebar mustache?
Did
I
you know
mean,
he's like the
Granny
number 3
April
actor?
would be Uma Thurman.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
that actually just fits.
And then you could have what's her name?
Flashbacks.
Her I was
Sydney.
just no, was it Maya
Oh,
Hawke?
Maya Hawke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
have her either play her in flashbacks
Oh,
or
no,
have
'cause
her
of the
play Casey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You could even use the guy from Chicago Police as Casey again. It's the same guy. Why not?
Oh shit!
You ever notice that?
Bring it. That guy's in some weird stuff. He shows up.
Into?
He used to show up a lot in like the '90s and early 2000s, and like just the most random stuff.
My wife was
Oh.
watching Chicago PD, and I kept being like, I know that guy. I don't know from where. And finally, I was like, holy shit, it's Casey Jones. Which is still messed up. He's not in Secret of the Use. I'll just throw that out there.
True.
Yeah.
I don't even talk about it.
You're talking about Chicago PD, and it makes me think of that the fire department Chicago show that's basically Super Troopers.
It's the same show.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Different actors,
Yeah.
different departments.
No,
he's
They
talking
have
about the.
crossover.
I'm
He's
talking
talking
about
about
Farva
The
and
joke
Tacoma.
one.
yeah, Tacoma.
Yeah,
Tacoma.
Tacoma PD.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is like 3 or 4 Chicago shows. There's like a hospital, fire department, police department.
Oh, makes sense.
Now I want the
That makes
turtles, like the ghost turtles, be played by the dudes from Super Troopers. I want one played by Farva. One, like, I feel like that'd be fantastic.
When Panera Bread still had the microphone to call out the names for the order, I can't tell you how many times I'd be like, liter of cola, anybody? Nothing. Nothing. A rough audience in there.
Oh, my God.
The
I love
middle-aged
those movies.
ladies. They're good stuff.
All right. Well, those are all the questions we have. We've been on a
was
fantastic journey. We've
four
learned a
whole
lot about past nerdy, big nerdy.
I think we learned.
I think we've learned a lot about each other.
We did.
Listen, we covered the timeline from 1983 all the way up to like 1999. Okay, episode 2, folks. We're going to do 1999 to 2008. We'll call it Big Nerdy Part 2. Big Nerdy finds a lady.
Does that mean part 3 is going to be Lady Complains of No Ass?
Listen, there was the Big Nerdy, we'll call it the hoe phase. Then he got married. It was like a...
Oh, well, now we have to do the Big Nerdy Part 2 hoe phase.
Hoe phase wasn't that interesting. Unless you're one of them. It was just like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, you'll give me the time of day? Let's go out to dinner. In fact, my wife likes to tell everybody that I told her on our first date that I always take my first dates to the same restaurant, which was true. I took them all to the same restaurant because at least that way I could guarantee that the meal was good. Really like food.
Point.
I told her that, though. That ended up being my last first date.
Walks in on the first date and like everybody there knows his name. It's like, hey!
It was kind of like that. I was like, hey, steak skillet, hook me up.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
I don't think she knew what she was getting into. And now, like, I'm sure her life was probably like all planned out. Next thing she knows, boom, co-owner of a toy store. They keep trying to make her 51% owner so I could say we're a female minority-owned business. But she's just like, no. I'm like, come on, do it. I don't mind being 49%. This is great.
It didn't sign a prenup, right? So.
Nah, there's no prenup. What are you talking about? She just plans to outlive me. That's her plan. She tells me regularly. We'll be dead in 20 years anyway, and she's not wrong.
Then it'll be 100%.
20 years.
Yeah.
That's generous. In fact, now she's just like, we went to Toy Fair, and she's like, you need to teach me this stuff for when you drop dead from eating too many cheesesteaks. I'm like, well, it's optimistic. We have a good sense of humor. Yeah, because like when we were in New York, I'm just like, oh, look at that Asian. That could be a good upgrade. It punches me. Koreatown was a fun visit.
Oh, Jesus.
Why the hell weren't you at Toy Fair? We could have had such a great time there, guys. What do you think?
Absolutely.
I tried, man. I didn't
for
realize
sure.
that you could get us in, or I would have reached out to you. I was
Yeah,
I was
man, for next
on
year.
the website. I was trying to figure out I was like, okay, went through, filled everything out, and they're like, you need 25,000 subscribers. I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, well, what if we combined everything? Where are we at then? I'm like, fuck.
You're pretty dumb. You could have just said you had 25,000 subscribers.
Well, see, I thought about that, but then I lied on the application for New York Toy Fair, and they denied me. So, or not New York Toy Fair,
There
New
was
York
some
Comic
people at
Con.
New York Toy Fair.
Yeah, New York Comic
There
Con. I
was
lied.
definitely some press at New York Toy Fair where I'm just like, how did you get in? Because when I started on YouTube, it was 50,000 was the number it
Mhm.
wanted. And in fact, like when I got the toy store, I was like, oh, cheat code, I get in anyway. Boom. Didn't miss much. It was an interesting toy fair.
Yeah,
I
mean-
wore the wrong shoes.
Oh.
Fun story. I'm sitting in the Lego Botanical Gardens, which was a thing.
I saw,
I'm just
yeah.
sitting there, and Todd McFarlane walks by, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is my perfect time to go and yell at him. And the blisters on my blisters were arguing with me that I couldn't catch up to him, so I just let him go. He's a tiny little fella. You wouldn't guess it.
I mean, I'm not
Really?
shocked. Like, he seems like he's kind of skinny.
No, he's like, I mean, I'm 6'3", so I get it, but he's probably like 5'9". He's a little guy.
Really? I figured he'd at least be
Yeah.
6 foot.
Yeah, I did
No, he's a
too.
little fella. I
You
wanted
know
to go
why
be
that
like,
is? Because
"Hey,
he
look,
walks around with no
Why?
shoes on, so he's just getting compressed over the years.
I just
How
thought
about
that's
that
why
whole
I love his
Cal
his
McFarlane
stuff.
news, huh? That's pretty fun.
Hmm.
Mattel McFarlane news. That's pretty
Oh,
fun
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't want to talk about that.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. Because I'm curious what's going to happen. I'm like, are they going to lose the license, or is Mattel just going to be like, yeah, you can keep it, You got to pay double.
I think they're going to let them have the retro license, which is garbage. Like, oh, you guys want to do Batman 66? You go right ahead. Oh, you want to do superpowers? You do you. It's going to be really interesting because Mattel really, at the end, was just like, we don't want this license. It's worthless. I got it, made a ton of money, and then Mattel was like, FOMO, we want that license, actually.
Like, hey.
And they picked up her time to pick it back up because it's like right at the beginning of like the potential for DC to turn the ship around with the Superman movie coming out.
It's going to be interesting. Like, they've already well, they haven't to you guys. Us special people know about the toys. By special, we mean not that special. Just, hey, give me numbers. We're not going to tell you exactly what you're ordering, but give me some numbers. It's going to be interesting to see what happens because they have the license through the middle of 2026. They don't want to talk about it. If you ask anybody at McFarlane, they say no comment. They've been trained very well.
That sounds very much like it's going away then. Otherwise, it'd be like, no, we've currently have plans to keep like things for XYZ.
But Mattel hasn't said anything either. So
listen, Mattel had their own floor at Toy Fair. They had their own freaking level. I couldn't even get into it because Mattel's like, oh, what's that? You don't have a commercial zone building? You don't matter. I'm like, oh.
They're like, you don't have a Target polo on?
Wow.
Get fucked.
It's really weird. Mattel's weird. Like, I triple their sales numbers. Like, literally. What their minimums are, I triple them. But they won't give me an account because my warehouse is not zoned commercial. Like, they have really strict requirements for their warehousing. You have to be zoned commercial, and you can't be in a shared warehouse unless there is complete 24/7 security or a wall. And I'm just like, yep, that's not me.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm cheap. I'm going to continue. Like, I basically rent half the storage unit park at this point. Like, there's the Mondo unit. Oh, you want trick or treat? F78. That's the unit you want to go to. Crazy.
Oh man.
But yeah, it was an interesting toy fair. I'm very curious to see what happens with the toy world over the next year, considering we have that going on. There is a lot of rumors about Hasbro losing the Marvel and Star Wars license. Have you heard that?
I heard the one about Marvel, not Star Wars, just because there's also a
We
rumor
go
that
together.
Todd is trying to get into 7-inch Marvel figures.
Todd's trying to get into everything. Okay, Todd is like the girl at the
slut?
bar. Yeah, he's a toy slut. That's exactly what he is. He doesn't care.
Even
He's
his
just like,
hopefully face.
what's that?
He said his whole face.
Mortal Kombat? I'm in. Oh,
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast? You've never had toys before? Come over to my place.
Wizards has had toys.
Well, they have with him. Have they?
Yeah, they had, it was very brief, but they did some Planeswalkers for the Magic the Gathering stuff back in, God, like 2016 or something like that, 2015?
Was that Hasbro? That was during my sabbatical.
It
my
was
hiatus.
Hasbro or Funko.
We're going to see some interesting crossovers with some Hasbro Wizards of the Coast properties here soon. So that could be interesting. We have more There's 2 more Maximums coming out this year. So how's everybody feeling about the Maximum Spider-Man?
I'm
into it.
Seeing it posed by like different people. I have it pre-ordered, so I'll see. I don't know because there's the Mofex one, so like, do you need it kind of thing? But
Did you pre-order it from the wrong place? Did you? What are you doing?
I might have.
Listen, I gotta set up like an influencer program that says you go to like the top of my line or something. Maybe I'll give you guys free shipping and retail or something. I don't know.
There we go.
Stop ordering from Hasbro Pulse. It just makes the
Oh
problem.
no, I didn't
worse.
order it from Hasbro Pulse. I ordered it from Big Bad Toy Store, so that way when it comes out and I'm like, you know what, maybe I don't want this, and I cancel it, I don't feel bad.
Listen, yeah, you know that's why you get things last from Big Bad.
Oh, I know.
They advertise
Yeah,
that.
you told us that the last time you were on
Did
the
I?
show, and I had to go make a kayfabe account so I could change that.
I hate to say it, but like with EE, I look at them, I'm like, man, you guys are a bunch of scumbags. I don't feel bad about talking bad about you at all. But Big Bad, they do everything like ethically, correctly. It's like, damn it, why do you have to be my competition? I like you, damn it. Like, I'm going to go out and buy Operation Monster Force stuff and make a video on it and be like, damn it, I got to be positive about this. I like it. What are you going to do? What's the problem?
Yeah.
Wish they just be dicks.
Also,
Like,
yeah,
I met the owner at Toy Fair a couple times. Super nice guy. Like, they do everything correctly. Almost annoying. See?
Yep, I love them.
also,
I'm
yeah,
really
the Magic the
proud
Gathering
of it.
figures were Funko. That was in that stage where Funko was doing
Yes.
like Game of Thrones and Walking
Yep.
Dead and a few other things. They did those. They were good figures. It was just
They had some issues, especially the Game of Thrones.
no. I'm talking about the Magic.
They
ones.
looked good.
I'm talking about the Magic ones.
Yeah.
The Magic ones.
Did they
yeah.
have clear? Was that part of their clear peg phase, where they made all their pegs out of the clear plastic and they just started crumbling?
Probably.
Yeah.
These were the only
Rockets,
ones that came in a box instead of in the traditional like clam like
Mhm.
cardboard
Yeah.
back. But yeah, the Magic ones, they were good figures. It's just Magic players don't give a fuck about action figures. They buy shiny
They don't.
cardboard.
Really collecting cards.
And most Dungeons and Dragons people don't either.
Yeah.
Because the only ones that do well are like the old action figure ones or the cartoon,
hmm
because it's the cartoon, not the game.
Or if
Well,
you
those
do
Dungeons
like
and Dragons were gangbusters, man.
Those were
the creatures and stuff do well, just like the really terrible characters that don't look like the actors.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true. Those were bad.
I
I
own
think
them.
of Magic. I think
I
of the
do too.
South Park episode. So,
That's fair.
or
That's
Kenny's like doing rooster fighting
fair.
instead of playing Magic. That's what I think of when I think of Magic the Gathering. Like, I've tried to play the game. It is clearly way too advanced for my simple mind.
Me too.
Like, oh, is this not like Monopoly?
There's like a channel. Like so I have a Samsung TV and it's got like Samsung channels, and all the time like a Dungeons and Dragons channel shows up, and it's like all of these like actors like Seth Green and actors you haven't seen in forever, and they're all just playing Dungeons and Dragons in front of a crowd, and I'm like, where is this like subculture that I've never seen before?
There's
And
a
I was,
couple groups that are stream their weekly stuff and do live shows. Like here next month, I'm going to see 2E2 because my fiance is wants to get Critical Role
When did you
autographs.
get engaged? Have we not talked in this long?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Really, it has.
Yeah,
Congrats.
like
Think
we,
about
like
it.
we've chit chat through like email and stuff, but we haven't had a chance to like sit down like this in over a year.
And the weird thing is, like, she seems normal.
Yeah.
Well, that's
She
what
seems
happens.
really
Like,
nice.
you gotta
Like, it's
travel.
odd.
Like, you got to get the wedding done before they figure out that, like, you're.
He's the problem.
It's like
Well, see,
a,
that's
it's like
why-
a trap.
See, that's why we realized that we weren't going to be able. We originally were getting having the wedding here in May, and then we had some house repairs happen, and we were like, well, we're not going to be able to afford it, but we decided we're still going to get married. We're just going to have the wedding next year. So
Listen, some big nerdy marriage advice never been told before. I wish more than anything else that I eloped. Okay, the wedding, the first wedding, disaster. The second wedding, canceled. Okay, it took me 3 times to marry my wife. Okay, weddings are a disaster. Like, I remember specifically, like, our first wedding, my wife's father is a doctor. They were estranged, and he came back into her life, and he was like, hey, I want to pay for your wedding to make up for everything I screwed up. And she was like, oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And then, like, 30 days before the wedding, he was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not paying the rest of this. And my cheap ass was like, I'm not paying it either. Screw you. So we canceled it, and we had, like, this little tiny wedding planned. And then my dad, selfish as could be, decided to have a stroke that night before, so we had to reschedule
Yeah.
again. And I know, how could he? But
man,
in
what a
the
dick
end,
move.
my advice to everybody is just elope. Weddings are for everybody else, and like from a
Yep.
business
Sure.
standpoint, if you look at what you spend compared to what you get back, it's not profitable. It's like it's a losing business. Just literally elope, spend any money you get to go on a honeymoon, put a down payment on a place, Screw weddings. They're a gigantic Hallmark store disaster.
We just had a big party at my parents' house in their backyard. Like, that's where we got married, and it was awesome. People talk about it. It's like 20 years ago. And people were like, yeah, that wedding was awesome. We just had a good time.
Listen, I've officiated 4 weddings, and 2 of them are still married. So I know what I'm talking about.
That's a 50-50.
There you go.
I'll figure out 1 or 2. Actually, I think one of them's now divorced, so we're down to just 1.
Oh, well, that's not great. That's 75. That's a 25% success rate.
Oh man, don't tell my brother. He's gonna be angry. He's the only one left. My sister got divorced. For some reason, 2 Panera employees were like, 2 different Panera couples were like, "Hey, can you do the ceremony?" I'm like, "We do it in Cumberland County. I can. I'm ordained. Let's do this."
They probably just really wanted you to ask for a liter of cola at the beginning of the ceremony.
Yeah.
I did not. In fact, listen, as a ordained minister in the state of Pennsylvania, I put a lot of time and energy into my, whatever you call them, sermons?
Vows? No.
Officiated?
I mean, half of it came from movies. Most of it came from movies. Okay, all of it came from movies. Most of it was The Princess Bride. I just took the whole Mowage thing and added the R back in so it didn't sound goofy. That's the trick.
I dig it. Take notes on that.
Let me know when you're getting married. Oh wait, I'm not ordained in Ohio. You're screwed.
I
I
am.
don't know if he likes those odds.
Yeah, you have a 25% success rate. No offense, but
Well, if you get a prenum,
Like it all leans on him.
I have at least a 50% success rate. I don't know about the other couple. I only did 2. And we don't talk to the other people anymore.
so it went that well.
it doesn't count. That.
I mean,
that's automatically a 0.
it was a friend of my wife's, and my wife just doesn't.
You guys divorced them.
Doesn't. Kind of.
Are all bald guys ordained then? Is that how it works?
Yeah, probably. We have an uncomfortable amount of similarities, other than the wrestling part and the fedora part. There's a lot of stuff there.
There was only 2 years of the fedora, and in fairness, it was less of fedora and more of like the bowler cap that Rocky wore in Rocky 5. I was going for that.
Okay.
Came from
That makes
Wilson
sense.
leather.
I did Kangol hats, which is not a great thing to be,
I might have also done that. The black with the white little kangaroo in the front. Samuel L. Jackson style. Tried it. Didn't love it. Didn't work.
Yep. It worked for me for a while, or at least I thought so. So I don't know.
I turned it around and went with the whole paperboy look.
Oh,
and then people just thought I was
okay.
in the mafia, and that worked way better.
Yeah.
Is that how
Like,
you
just
got
have to
into?
not smile.
You got together with Vinny? Is that how that happened?
That's where me and Vinny met back in the day. He was actually very similar to the Irishman. He was delivering steak to my restaurant, opened it up, nothing's there. He said it wasn't him. We dealt with Luca Brazzi and the Union, and that's how it went.
I did like it that
Unfortunately
he
for Vinny,
disappeared.
his
on the-
pompadour and the green screen didn't agree.
Yeah. I did like his
Vinny's next
guest appearance,
appearance
though.
might need a new wig. Also, kind of disappointed that nobody commented this. As a mafia historian, you can't have facial hair. So the fact that nobody said, "Why does Vinny have a goatee?" was kind of disappointed.
It's 2025, you know?
No, the mafia does not change that much, okay? I even said to my wife, I was like, you know what? I should shave before I film this, or else it's just not realistic. And she's like, no one's going to notice. Only I notice.
No.
She was right.
I know the rules. I wore pants, and Don doesn't wear shorts. I know what's going on.
Oh, man, that's fantastic.
This is like, as an old man, this is the latest I've been up in like a month, so feel
Oh,
honored.
me. Yeah. That's wonderful.
You know, I have to be at a meeting at 7 a.m., so feel very honored.
Oh, damn. Well, I always feel honored when you come on our show. I remember the first time we had, we were all excited. We were like, I can't believe Big Nerdy's like agreed to come on our little channel. Like,
I don't know if this is going to make you feel bad or worse, but basically my rule is it a pedophile? No, I'll go on their channel. Like, that's the basic. So, like, there's
And
one person there's one channel in the entire toy industry that has that rap. The only channel I won't go on. Everybody else is fair game.
Is this like
You're gonna
public
figure that
knowledge?
part out on your own.
Yeah, that's
You're gonna
also,
figure that
I
part
don't
out
even.
on your own.
Oh man, that's a whole new mystery to solve. We'll have to start a new show.
Let's just say,
Fine.
if you go back and watch the Nerdy Awards for the last 5 years, they've never been on it. So, mystery solved.
No.
Oh man.
Time
I
to
don't
do
have
some
a lot-
detective work.
Right? I'm just
Yeah,
like, we
have
need to.
fun with
We're gonna have to have a new show to start. It's gonna be To Catch a Toy Predator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that would actually be an interesting thing. Although you'd end up with somebody crying about scalpers, is how it would end. It's how it would end.
I mean,
They'd be like, "This guy tried
Scalpers-
selling me the Maximum Spider-Man for $55."
I have a
It seems
couple,
like that's my
a
downside.
couple ideas of who it could be.
You're
with that
probably
knowledge.
right. It's not Toy Snowman. Everybody thinks it is. He just likes chicken.
No, the one I'm thinking of, he's a rage
They do
baiter
those.
and only he just complains about everything, never has anything positive to say.
You do realize that's almost every large toy YouTuber.
Yeah, but this guy, like,
There's a reason that my growth stopped when I started the store. It was like this, and then it was like, start the store, no more rage bait. Flatlined.
yeah, you're not
I'm
wrong.
never gonna get my little 100,000 plaque because of it.
Well, see, there's ways you can go around it because, like,
We're
we tricked people into from the rage baiting from the thumbnail.
Oh, 100%.
But then we would have the content would be like us complaining, but then also like trying to come up with a solution to the problem or discussing it, and like there being like more to it. Versus some people, they just bitch and moan and bitch and moan.
Well, I go the completely opposite direction. My perfect example of this is I made a Mythic Legions video where the entire title and thumbnail makes you believe that I'm going to completely trash them. And the opening makes it seem like I'm going to say, oh, these things are ridiculous. You can't buy into them. Then the whole video is just how much I love them. Right there. People come in, they think that I'm going to trash something, then I don't.
Bait and switch.
Yeah, that's what
It's hard,
I
though.
think people
Like,
have figured that out about
nobody-
us though, because like we kind of stalled out there. I still do the
Yeah.
clickbait
About YouTube,
thumbnails,
right?
and they ain't falling for it like they used to.
It's the
Yeah, we
hard
really-
thing about YouTube, man. Like, I made the same video twice, but slightly opposite. So I made things that are awesome about owning a toy store and things that suck. Things that suck got 100,000 views. Things that were awesome got like 15,000. People are
Yeah.
drawn to negativity. It's really a shame.
Yeah,
It really is. You can't change it. So all you can do is
profit.
trick
of
them
it.
in.
Like,
Oh.
Clickable thumbnail. There it is. Gotcha. Like the guy with the dollar bill in the Progressive commercial. Oh, you're almost there. Gotcha. It's a shame, but like that's kind of the toy industry, like the toy YouTube market in a whole. Like certain people get crapped on. Like the whole there's channels that are out there where their entire gimmick is crapping on anybody who's nice about anything.
Yeah,
Like, how dare you be positive?
you're not wrong.
Look at this
I
guy.
know.
He's nice.
Yeah, I like Hasbro. You're a shill. I hate Hasbro. You're a hater. There's no winning.
Trust me,
There's
we've
no winning.
we've had those comments. We've had plenty of those
Yeah,
comments,
look,
and sometimes I'll
that's your
troll them
mistake
just so
right
that way we
there.
get the interaction.
that's your mistake. You read the comments, okay?
Oh, I find most of them amusing. Like I really don't. A lot of the comments we get are very supportive, and I appreciate our community very much. But once in a while, we'll get like some that are like complaining about XYZ, and like I'll either if I'm bored enough or I'm like trying to get enough interaction on that video to get more traction with the algorithm, I'll respond and see how much I can get out of it. And every now and then it'll be more like that. There was a misunderstanding because what we're doing now is every other week we have the live stream, which is either the podcast or our weekly toy haul. And because of the algorithm, I have decided to unlist the live stream when it's done and then just re-upload it a day or two later once it's done processing for me to download it. So that way it can reestablish itself as a video in the algorithm, which does better.
Yeah.
And I had somebody be like, who apparently called us out for something in the comments on the live stream, and they're like, "Oh, you can delete my comment all you want, but I'm not gonna let you spread this fake news." Blah blah. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
No?
I didn't delete. I don't like. I'm the only one of the four of us who has access to the channel because the three of you don't give a shit. And so like, I didn't delete anything. And I'm like, did you maybe comment on the live stream, which is unlisted, and this is the full video, which I said in that video, like live stream, we were gonna start doing. I'm like, it's that, or you forgot to hit send, bud. Like, those are the only two things happen, or you got flagged by YouTube because you said something racist. Like,
Yeah, like I have my home address and certain curse words blocked, so they can't go in the comments, and that's it. Like, there was a time where I read every comment, but after the whole Black Series rerun debacle, where everyone accused me of making things up for clips, I was like, okay, like, I don't care what anybody says about me from a YouTube channel personality, how I look, really don't give a shit. But when people are like, you lied, I'm like, oh, that triggers me. Triggered. That's like the one thing that really gets to me for whatever reason. Or if they're like, you always get things last, and I'll be like, literally, I've gotten the last 5 Hasbro releases first. Okay? There's one thing that's last. Okay? I'm sorry your Secret Wars Captain America isn't there yet. But you got Wolverine, Deadpool, the rest of Secret Wars, and the wave before that all early. Give me a break. Drives me nuts. Because there's like, Hasbro has absolutely no method to their shipping. It's just like, oh, pick a number from 1 to 10, 7, ship that order. That appears to be how they do it.
yeah,
Because it's never the same. Sometimes I get things before Pulse even. I don't understand it. Sometimes Punisher Bushwhacker pack is a great example. I got it like 4 months later than Pulse, as did Entertainment Earth, as did Big Bad. But Big Bad had it 48 hours before me, so I suck.
Absolutely unacceptable.
Unacceptable. And I gave myself 30 lashes for it. Like, if they know what I put my children through, and there's a pre-order that comes in late, I'm just like, all right, children, we're not eating dinner till all the packages are packed.
But father, my hands hurt and are super dry and cracked from all the cardboard.
You're fine. Listen, my kids learned early when we started the store early on, and everything had to be brought up by hand from the basement. I'd make them bring them up after school, and if they complained, I make them bring them back downstairs and then bring them back up again. Because as I told them, I'm happy to have stupid children, unathletic children, ugly children, but I will not have lazy children. Not happening. Not happening.
Man.
It's one thing I won't have.
Do it again.
Yep. And I'll say I'm really proud. Like, my son, I called him up late. He's 11. Like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm reading a book. I check out the book, and he's reading how to make profit selling baseball cards and to start a card store. And I'm just like, so proud of you. My little entrepreneur.
That is absolutely fantastic.
But I'm glad you guys are. How is YouTube going for you? Are you? I haven't. So, fun fact: I don't watch YouTube for toys at all anymore because I can't stand it. By the time I'm done with my day, the last thing I want to do is watch toy YouTube.
That's very fair.
So people will send me
Good
things
point.
where it's
That's a
like, "Oh,
point.
this guy reviewed the Nerdies," and I'm like, "I'm not watching that. Just give me a summary."
But yeah, like, why would I care if someone reviewed my video? Like, that's just like, I mean, I think I feel special because, like, oh, cool, I have a subculture. But like,
listen, I've thought about, like, so I told you guys about my surgery. I told my wife, I'm like, you know what? We should tell everybody that I'm getting this nose surgery because I'm really vain about how I look.
should have.
And then we'll do this whole thing with like a big reveal afterwards. Like, I'll do like the wrestling thing where you wear a face mask afterwards and everyone's like, oh my God, what happened to their nose? And then afterwards, and it's like exactly the same. Thought about it. I even thought about like reaching out to random YouTubers and be like, hey, you want to have a feud? Like, you just hate me and I'll hate you, and then at the last second we'll meet at a convention and you can do like the finger poke of doom and I'll fall down and we'll work everybody. Nobody will see it coming.
New York Toy Fair 2026. Let's do it. We'll start the feud. And
no, I've been on your channel too many times. If there's another toy YouTuber out there who I've never worked with and has not been on the Nerdies, listen, we can totally work the boys here.
You're like,
We'll
I
have
hate
all
them.
of toy YouTube like Big Nerdy's gonna kill this guy. Big Nerdy's gonna get his ass kicked. It'll be hilarious.
Oh man, you know what? I know who
Just
it
have
could
the
be.
It's like
exclusive.
Paul.
I'll do the flop.
Paul from the Reluctant Adult podcast. He would love to. He's been trying to have a feud with Pixel Dan for years.
Does Pixel Dan reply?
He does now because they're on Blue Sky and no one else is, so he has to reply to somebody to get engagement.
Listen, I am, and people get mad at me for this, but I'm like the #1 cheering fan of TikTok. I really like TikTok, and I'm really mad when they go to get rid of it.
Mhm.
'Cause I'm just like, oh, what's wrong? Are we getting rid of the source of news? Oh, sorry about that, government. But yeah, I don't know what Blue Sky is. It's not TikTok. I know
That's fair. It's essentially less racist Twitter.
Yeah.
See, Twitter is good for one thing. Twitter, I go to, like, I have lists set up for sports, and I have, like, all of the different beat writers for the teams I follow, so I can know when somebody's injured before anybody else. That's the only thing I use Twitter for. That's literally it.
That's smart.
It works pretty well for that. TikTok's #1. I'm going to be very sad when it's gone. Listen, the night that it was banned, I just laid in my bed. My wife's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't know what to do."
Lost a
Nothing was
friend.
wrong. I felt I was mourning TikTok.
It would have been better if you were just laying in bed, just like kind of casually, just going. And she's like, "Your phone's not on." And I know.
That's Instagram Reels. It's not the same thing. My wife's like, "Oh, they told us not to use TikTok because of China," and I'm like, "Who's they? I'm not listening to they. You go and you scroll your meta up and down like Mark Zuckerberg's little puppet. I'm not doing it."
Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into that mess. All right.
Listen,
Well,
I don't even know that much. All I know is, I don't know if you know this, but like within the same week that whole bill against TikTok came out, it also was the same exact time that Meta decided, oh, we're not going to pay content creators as well anymore, or at all.
yeah.
That's not weird at all.
No correlation.
Also,
I mean,
like that same week, because I work in the media department of my company, and we have to do all the social media, and our numbers just tanked. Like the interactions, the pushes, all of that. Like Instagram's still doing well, but Facebook, for whatever reason, just plummeted. I'm like, huh, interesting. Wonder what that's all about.
I don't understand Facebook anymore. Like, I go on it every once in a while when I need to go on the marketplace to find a random piece of furniture.
Oh.
And I'll go on there and it'll be like 50,000 friend requests. And I'm like, I don't know any of you. And I'm just going to ignore this platform because I don't like it. Except for
I feel like
marketplace.
it's becoming
Marketplace is
racist Twitter too.
It's borderline.
Really? Like-
Yeah.
Facebook's only good for marketplace. And it's really good for that because Craigslist died and it became Facebook.
Yeah.
And that's what I use it
Scary.
Yeah, it doesn't
Listen,
quite roll off the
Craigslist-
tongue to be the Facebook killer or Facebook Marketplace killer like it did for the Craigslist killer.
Up until 2015, Craigslist was my secret weapon to find employees because, like, I didn't have to pay for ads, so I didn't have to go through corporate to place ads. So I could place my own ads, and it would be like, "Want to work for a boss that doesn't hate you?" Like, I could place headlines like that, and nobody would care because I didn't have to pay for them. That was great. And then they made us pay, and I had to go through like requisitions and write things like, "Want to work at the greatest company in the world, where we say the prayer to Mother Bread every day?" No, I don't.
I do like bread though.
Listen, bread is good. They literally, like, there was a time at Panera Bread where, so actually the entire existence, backstage for you, every meeting started off with what's called a bread homage, where somebody would have a piece of bread or a doughy item, and they would tell the story about why it brings warmth to them and why it's important. I called it bread cult. They didn't like me calling it that. When it was my turn to do bread cult, I brought a dozen Dunkin' Donuts. And I was just like, I like donuts, guys. There's no other reason. The cream filling's really good. If you ask them really nice, they'll give you double cream filling. That's it.
Fun fact: Apple has the same thing. Apple Retail.
Yeah.
We had a little Credo book that we would open, and they'd say pick out a thing, and it was very, very weird. Very weird.
Like corporate values and stuff.
Yep. I'm pretty sure I still have that somewhere around here. But it was like
Did you
little
adopt any of them?
six-fold. No. Not that I think of. But they were all just like the most important thing here is the people, and that's our creating relationships with technology. It was weird. It was very weird.
Some of those,
I may or
those
may
companies
not.
get a little
In
weird.
their Nerdzoic employee handbook may or may not have some of the exact same cultural values as Panera Bread. Just because I like no shortcuts. Basically, don't be a lazy shit. That's what it means. That's it. Sometimes things suck and you just have to do them. You have to take your bowl of shit and eat it and just be like, wow, that's really good.
Delicious. Can I have some more, please?
Wow. What's that, Todd? I'm going to pay more for your stuff and get it last? Oh, yeah, this is great. Thanks, Todd. I love it. It's so good. Life.
Oh, boy. Yeah, let's... All right. On that note, we don't want to. We trust me. We have a much love-hate relationship with Todd here on this channel. So I'm gonna close this out before we get on too much of a tirade and get in any more
Probably
trouble.
A wise idea.
As always, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. If you enjoyed the video, share it with your friends. Check out the other toy therapies we've done. We've got the Reluctant Note Podcast, Hella Dope Toys, Taven the Caveman, and now we've got Big Nerdy. We've got more to come, so check all those out. All of all the other videos we do. Our link tree is in the description below, where you can follow us on all the different social medias. You can join our Discord channel, where you can come and hang out and chit-chat with us and other people in the community. You can also check us out, patreon.com/Modern Toy Fair. For $1 a month, we have all sorts of different things that I post in there, from pictures. You get all the pre-recorded videos like Toyfarerapy and how to pose videos early. And you even get to see my digital version of my article for the Toytography magazine after it releases. So check that out, link in the description. Greatly appreciate it. You can check Jarmar out over on... I haven't got anything clever for you this week. Only Turtles at Jarmar_Games. Corey, where can everyone find you?
Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. But I will be in Cherry Hill, New Jersey this weekend for Monster Mania. It might be my last one going out that way. So, for the foreseeable future, at least. That's a hell of a drive, and I almost died last time. So, I don't want to go out there anymore unless this show is insane. So you can come see me. You can come see who's going to be there. Susan Sarandon, I think, is going to be there. So Gina Davis, that's the other one. Yeah, she's going to be there too. So come see me and Gina.
Wow.
Such a wide variety. So go check out Corey. I'll have all of his links in the description below as well. Matt, tell everyone they can find you.
First of all, I want to discuss the besmirchment of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That mall was a regular spot of my toy runs in the early 2000s and late 90s. They're KB Toys, well-stocked, overpriced. What are you going to do? Didn't go that often. Ben Franklin Bridge, toll, not cool. Anyway, now that I have saved Cherry Hill.
Oh, it's amazing place. Amazing place. I just cannot make that drive anymore unless it makes me a lot of money.
Listen, are you not a fan of the Pennsylvania Turnpike? I can do it with my eyes closed, and I have. Anyway, nerdzoictoys.com, all your toy needs. We carry literally everything. And every single social, except Blue Sky, because I just learned that existed. And not Pinterest, because that's for the ladies. I don't do the Pinterest. Everything else I'm on.
I'll make sure to have
my wife do Pinterest. Listen, you guys can see your demographic. What's your female viewers? Mine tops out at 1.75%. Like, oh, this is about right. Seems like how my life's gone.
That's pretty high.
Isn't bad. Like, ours is... Let me pull it up real quick. Maybe, if it moves fast enough. Audience. Ours is 5%.
Oh,
Really?
You guys use toy studs.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's all Nate.
One of
that,
you
that
guys are
magnificent
like-
mug.
So one of you guys got some stalkers, okay? Enjoy it while you can.
I had a stalker, and he finally left us alone. Okay.
Oh, that's not as fun. Female stalkers are way more fun.
Yeah.
I imagine. I wouldn't know.
I like to think it's Nate's beard.
It's got to be Nate because
he's
he's on every thumbnail, so it's got to be Nate's mug that draws him in.
Very
That's
true.
only because he probably can do really good facial expressions. Like, can you do the facial expressions for YouTube? Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
All
literally
of it.
one night asked him
That's
I'm like, I need you to like send me like 5 to 10 selfies of you making different faces, so I have like high quality ones to cut out for these thumbnails. He's like, all right.
I would love to go someday. My great grandchildren are going to go through my Amazon photos and find all of the different takes for YouTube thumbnails, and it's just going to be the most random shit.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean the things I've done with Nate's face on this channel are pretty interesting. So
I gave him like 2 rules, and like because my wife was like, "I can't believe you just let him do whatever with your face," and I was just like, "Yeah, as long as like, you know, I'm not doing anything to like kids. I don't give a shit what you do."
I don't make him a pedo and I don't make him a Nazi, and he's cool with it.
Yeah, I'm totally down. Just those are my only 2 rules.
I made him He-Man one time.
That was awesome.
That was the best one.
I loved it. I actually, I
yeah.
sent that one out a lot to people. I enjoyed that.
My He-Man wig's over there.
Oh, I had to Photoshop that shit. He didn't have a wig or anything. I just threw that on and add everything in Photoshop.
Unprofessional. No He-Man wig in stock. You got to have that wig ready to go.
Yeah.
You have like a bunch of wigs on a bunch of wig holders in your
Oh my God.
studio, then you know. That's how you know you've made it on YouTube. It doesn't matter the subscriber count. Do you have wigs? That's the real number that matters.
How many wigs?
Nate, you know that now we have to get a He-Man wig, so that way next time we do the Who's That Masters of the Universe character.
Yeah, the next time,
We're in Dorney episode.
Spirit Halloween is in town, I'll have to stock up.
Yeah. We need that, so that way when we do the next one, you can just be there, the full He-Man.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah,
All right.
well, because next time I'll be Glimmer.
Oh my god.
For the record, I have a copyright on Broken Down He-Man. That is definitely not me in a white tank top. Definitely not.
Good to know. All right, Nate, you got anything for us before we close out?
I will also be hanging out with some hot older ladies this weekend, like Corey. So, and they're famous too. I'm making that up.
Convention?
But, I'm going to the Columbus Toy Show, so that's what I'm doing this weekend.
I forgot.
So
that
that's
was
all I
this
got.
weekend.
But by the time this is on, by the time this airs, it'll already have passed, so you can't come up and say hi.
I always forget about that part.
Oh yeah, Corey pimped
And
out the
also
show
don't
he's
look
going
me
to.
in the
This
eye.
is gonna be in like 3 weeks.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So, but yeah.
I do that all the time though. So
Yeah.
whatever.
At least during the live stream, it's accurate.
That's true. That's true.
All right, awesome. Well, we appreciate everybody watching, and also we appreciate you, Big Nerdy. Thank you again for coming on, and also thank you for having us in the Nerdies again this year. That was a great honor.
You're very welcome. I'm not going to lie. Producer Kyle did the entire Nerdies this year. My job was to show up on camera for 20 minutes.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that he remembered
Nice.
us, because when I got that email, I was like, "Oh yeah, we'll do it. 100%. Like, let me get the boys and figure out when we can record it."
Some people were sending me emails like, "Is this guy legit?" And I'm like, "I guess I should have paid for him to have a Nerdzoic email." Huh?
Well, I remembered him from when I was helping you with the Nerd Stash stuff.
Yes.
I remembered him from that, so that's why I was like, "Okay, yeah, I remember."
Guy's
who you are.
legit.
Yeah. Otherwise, even then, I would probably would have been like, "Yeah, I'll send you a video of 4 dudes just talking about some toys."
We don't
Or
care.
whoever.
Yeah,
Which toys are we talking about? Are we doing the Barbies today, or
but it was really weird when he sent us an ambiance website link for the for the
Why are
Nerdy
you
Awards
sending
nominees, but
I don't understand.
all right. Well, hopefully we'll see everybody next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching. So like he's running, we're gonna bring this arm back. I'm gonna bend it, maybe not that much, just a little bit. with the wrist pulled in, all the way back on the butterfly joint. We are going to then switch this hand out for the